Yeah, welcome to our Resource Access Working Meeting. We have, I don't know, 6 people in the room, 7 people in, if I count correctly, and almost the same amount virtually. Hi, Erin. Nice. Hi, Cornelia.
I'm just hanging out on my couch. Don't mind me.
Thank you, nice. Cool. So, yeah, welcome. I do not have a fixed program for this meeting as we discussed in our previous meetings. I put together a small slide deck. Come on in. Come in. Hi. To share with you and maybe start us off on whatever discussion we want to have. And yeah, I will look. I will share my screen, just a second. Okay, and I will of course start with it. How's that for everyone? Can everyone see all right? Here, I will leave this window here so we can see if anyone raises their hand or something.
I don't know if it's just my screen, but I'm seeing like this black rectangle across, like, I don't know what's going on.
Is that better? Or is this maybe is that better? The Zoom?
Oh, yeah, that's what it is. It's your Zoom bars. Okay, they're now one's on the top and one's on the bottom. That's better.
Okay, I will switch back to the not presenting mode when we jump into the Jira tickets if we do that at all. So maybe then they will stop showing up. All right, so again, welcome. Oh, we have some chat messages. Good. Exactly, that's good. Not the aim, but the aim. Okay, so I think everyone here knows about the resource access SIG, right? So I don't think we need the introduction part of it. If that's all right, should I just for Catherine? All right. Welcome to the Resource Access SIG. Yeah, and if you have any questions, just go ahead. We set up this working meeting because we wanted to meet everyone at WOLFcon related to resource access, and we wanted to meet, and we do not have a fixed topic for this meeting. This is just yeah, but we have a great starting point because Steph actually created 2 dashboards of backlog topics we can jump into and maybe just look into it and I'm so thankful to her for doing that, so we can have something to discuss today. But I have also one personal thing I want to announce or ask you people. I want to quit being a SIG convener for resource access after, I don't know, a few years now, to make room for somebody new and some fresh wind maybe. Cornelia will stay on, but I want to quit by the end of the year, so I will announce it now for people to maybe step forward to take on this role. It is a really rewarding and lovely thing to do to get to be part of the community, and I enjoy it immensely. But I have a lot of other things to do, and I just want to be a member and participate. As I will continue being at the resource access SIG, but I'm ready to step down. And as when I took it over from Andrea, I felt it was a big and huge thing, and I was really afraid of it, but it is such a great thing to do, and you don't have to be afraid of it. So it is, steep learning curve, but very rewarding role. So if you want
You've done a great job.
Thank you so much. I was not at all. No. Thank you so much. That's so kind. I was not at all wishing for complaints here. I just want to give over this role to somebody, and my wish for that is maybe to find somebody in the community that is yeah, again, from America or an English speaker, just to mix it up again. We have two Germans on the team now. Maybe another native speaker would be cool, and also the perspective would be great to have again. Yeah. All right, that's it now. But there are other ways to get involved. Of course, I just remind you that you can also become a product owner. Yeah. Then topics for discussion. We thought of maybe discussing the gap list. And just a reminder, we want to start the gap list working meetings after WOLFcon again. So, and I think we already pinpointed 2 or 3 topics for the first meeting. So I think that will go on its own. Connie and I will remind everyone who wanted to take over the topics and then set a date. And we have the dashboards that staff so kindly created for us, and that's one with a backlog over 1 year old and one that is 2 years old, for backlog over 2 years old, and we can jump into them as well. Yeah. And then I wanted to ask if we maybe want to discuss possible categories for backlog issue or topics for Jira dashboards, so that we can create overviews about, like Steph did with the backlog, for example, to have all defined topics on one dashboard and have an overview of that. And it would be great to discuss which topics you would like to see on a dashboard, and then somebody, maybe I can create a dashboard around these topics. This is a lot for this one meeting, so do you have favorites? Do you want to start with something particular? Thanks, Erin. Yeah, should we jump into the backlogs? Yeah, I think that's interesting. So I will.
John, could you also at some point just comment on if we have new issues to introduce to the backlog, like what the best practices would be for that?
So you mean like gaps, or so we have a gap list. I would say that we started with a gap list that every institution would put in 2 or 3 or 5. But I think this gap list can grow. And so if you have something that is not yet on Jira, or that is a gap, you can, or that is on Jira and you would really like to discuss it further because it's maybe a kind of a zombie in Jira and needs work, then put it in the gap list, I would say, and then we can discuss that on the gap list working meetings again. Or is that not what you mean?
So start on the spreadsheet, or start in with an incident report from the Jira. Do you want it generated in Jira and the spreadsheet, or just the spreadsheet?
So I think the process would be, you have a gap, you search on Jira if that gap already exists or is a feature. If not, you have 2 possible ways to go. You can create your Jira with your gap and then bring it forward to the PO, for example, or put it in our gap list, or maybe both. I will quickly, and everyone please chime in. I think that's the right way to go. Our gap list, this should be our gap list. Let's see. Loading. It's a big table, but it shouldn't be loading that long, right?
I actually have issues with
Okay.
the wireless access.
Oh. But the Zoom meeting is coming through, right? Everyone, can you? Oh. David?
I can see,
I was trying to do a thumbs up.
yeah.
I'm on the wrong computer here.
All right, but you can hear and see and yeah, so the Zoom meeting should be fine and that is no issue of connection then. Let me reload the page here. Ah, there it is. Yeah, I mean, you can put it here. You don't have to put it in the Jira. You can just put in the issue here and then we will discuss it in the working meeting.
On the spreadsheet?
Yes.
Okay.
Wow, and then it's gone again. So we will not work on the gap list today, say, and look at the backlog dashboards that's separated. And this is the one that is the backlog for over 1 year old issues, and it's how many are there? Oh, all the Zoom. Oops. Panels are in the way. Oops. This. Oh, 364 issues. That's in, and that's, I mean, only the bigger team things, so that's a lot. I will later on, I don't, in the afternoon, put the links into our meeting notes so you can access them. Yeah, should we go through? Is that? So, the first one is disallowing editing of request properties after creation and let's see. Not really a good view here, right? I was looking for when it was created and 7 years, no, development. I don't know. Should we just have a look?
Sure. Yeah.
This is the first one. I don't know. Scroll through them or.
Yeah.
So we have the store, retrieve intervals, post types on the server. So these are probably just the background.
The disallow editing of request properties, the problem is, not sure that the problem is that they're trying to solve.
Good question. Only allow fulfillment preference, hold shelf, expiration date, and request expiration date. Focus to change other properties.
But before we're still on the SIG, I wonder if we need a process of just verifying that what's on the list of 340, whatever, that they're still interested, they're still current. And maybe there's more current information that could be. So maybe we could agree on some way to just make sure that the list is worth going through one by one, because do people still care about it?
Yeah, and how do we do that? That brings me to the idea of the prioritization process that is now discussed in PC, and which the acquisition SIG already piloted. So they tried to implement a process here in Jira of voting on tickets, and they did that with this thumbs up option. So everyone who was interested in this issue could just vote here, and they said it's only allowed, of course, one person per institution, which always means that, of course, in the institutions, they have to, to talk to your people. But it is assumed if when you are in acquisition SIG or a resource access SIG, then you can talk for this topic for your institution. We could do that here too. Of course, we should ask Steph if that is in her interest as well. If we should, because I think the acquisition SIG is very good in having dashboards like that, open topics, and then we can just go through the list, filter for this specific topic, and then say it's all open issues filter, for example, and then go through them. And we, of course, have to do that for this as well. We can go through the backlogs, like can say, okay, everyone has 1 month to vote on that, and then we can look how many votes one thing got and discuss them again. Yeah.
Cornelia's better.
Yeah, Cornelia, go ahead. Just
Yeah, I think it doesn't make sense to go through 300 and more issues. We need to sort and filter them better. Like we could sort them in requests, check out, check in, and stuff like that. And also maybe look for UX prods first and sort out technical. Yeah, this seems like kind of technical debt, for lack of a better word. This should be discussed with the developers first. How it influences what we want from Folio.
that's
So
a
we
good.
can just go through all those 300 issues without any further knowledge or plan, I think.
Yeah. I'm taking notes on my phone. I'm not so yeah, rude. So I will write some things down and give that to them. And I think Korea, that's really good. Mark, go ahead.
Here's the question, when we say are we saying that this is an industry standard that exists in the industry? Or are we saying it's something that I'd like to have and Folio doesn't have?
Yeah, I think that is basically what we do. Yeah.
Okay.
It's interested institutions, or everyone participating in resource accessing, or I think there was one point in Folio where we talked about the industry standard thing and thought about how do we compete with other ILSs, and I think this discussion really fell behind since when the first people implemented it and had their needs that needed fulfilled right away, I guess.
Because if there are apps that are truly industry standard, things that Folio can't do that most ILSs can, that could be a barrier to new membership. And maybe we should consider it for a higher priority.
But I would guess that would be something that new libraries implementing, or all libraries implementing, would pick up rather quickly. Don't you think? I don't know.
Possibly.
Yeah. Cornelia, do you still have your hand up, or do you want to say something?
Oh no, I just forgot to.
Should we then maybe come to the idea of possible categories for this backlog go through? Because the acquisition SIG, and please correct me, I'm circulation obviously, they are not they have 1 PO or 2 POs, right? And not as my impression of resource access SIG is always that we have so many topics. I don't know, can somebody say that is different for acquisitions? Because I have the impression they are rather, they have, how can I say that without sounding? Yeah, I think we have a lot of different really separate topics like fees and fines and requests and circular, whatever. And notices, totally different thing. So I think that is these are 4 topics that we can say, okay, these are separate from each other, and I think acquisitions is more one thing, and they can put that in one dashboard. For example, I would separate these topics for resource access.
So we tag the Jira and then use the tags.
For example,
Something like that.
yeah, I think most of the JIRAs already are tagged or have some kind of hopefully.
So, I don't know enough about Jira besides the tagging piece. If you have a question about a current ticket, can you comment in Jira to get the person to say more so that you can understand the problem better and,
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
yes,
And my guess is when I start opening, I know.
yeah. There's and I think that POs would really love that.
Oh.
I think if I attended the PO AMA meeting and they were really saying, please get involved into Jira because that's our primary tool. And he will reach us through that. So this is basically also, I thought maybe we could make dashboards and go read through, and if we do it together, then it's maybe not as horrifying as it is if you're sitting alone in front of the screen.
Wouldn't it be good if the reporter themselves went through and made sure that there was tags and then also that they had reviewed it and wasn't 2 years old and it hadn't even, maybe it was by some institution that's left the project.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a great idea. I think that's a good strategy.
The problem is that we have maybe 2 or 3 people that have thousands of issues probably. So I wanted to start by going through the major things maybe and put them together in one dashboard per topic. Yeah, but then, of course, starting from now, basically, we should always say, okay, we have these 3 or 4 topics, and please put a tag on them because we are filtering it for example, I think the acquisition they had, I think implementers as a tag or something, implementers topics or something like that, and they are filtering by that for their votes. So that would be something we can do as well.
Does our spreadsheet, I remember there's a place for other institutions to say that they're interested also, so.
Yes. Yeah,
So basically implementers, the tag means this is an issue for one of the libraries who's currently implementing or already running and having an issue with it that needs to be resolved.
no, they are just putting that +1.
I see.
I say, right? Oh, what do you mean? In Jira or in our get list?
In Jira.
In Jira, I think that they have a really active, they have, I think, some kind of a PO assistant that is doing all the work, I guess, to put this label onto every new issue. I think this is how it works for them. And you can, as an institution, always is this still here for the UX plots? It is, I think. These are all stories, right? So there is a field where you can put your institution in if you are interested in this topic as well. That was part of the TV voting process, I guess. Okay, so let's go back to the topics. I will write them down here in the presentation mode. I will write them down here in the presentation. So what are topics or major topics from resource access that we want to filter on or put them into dashboards, cluster them and so on.
Well, I think requests is good one,
Yes.
as is please finds, and as notices.
Backlog? As a separate topic? So. Check in and check out, different. Oh, sorry. Okay. Major topics in circulation and, yeah. Loans and pay, as separate topics, right?
Yeah, so.
Yes.
I feel like the list itself will generally will tell us what the categories are, and then we'll see, oh, there's 40 of them that are related to requests, or there's only one related to page law, or something like that.
Which is also a good indicator of which areas still need most work. Right now, where the focus might be best placed to get things smoother.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and maybe the development can be more coordinated
Yeah,
if we know all of the issues around that.
and it might also make it easier to write, to groom the GRs better. If you look at them within a larger context, like the 10 or 12 that are someone very closely related, you can create a more consistent picture for the developers to understand the overall picture. And it might make it easier to pick up things because they don't handle something that is related to the West, and then they pick up 50 times related things, but work on a bunch of the best stuff in
Yeah.
one go.
So we will leave it at this list at first, then we will look through the backlog and pinpoint more other topics if needed. Perfect, so I can't promise that I will do that.
Can we ask the reporters to do it?
That is a good question. We can look at who the reporters are, but then we should really be sure about the labels. So we can say, okay, we can put them all in the one implementers label, you know? Good.
I don't think we have to be sure. If we ended up with 40 labels, we could then consolidate those easier than. So I don't think we should worry too much about the labels.
Okay,
I think once we have the labels, then that helps people, and then we can always add it.
that's true.
You know? I'm not, because I think too generic is also not great.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I was
People are going to sign multiple leaves.
Yeah, and given the breadth of resource access concerns that really touch sometimes user, there's just so many pieces that going down from 300 unlabeled tickets to even 50 labels would be good. And there's gonna be multiple labels and.
That's true. Yeah, we can genuinely ask. But I would not even,
Report, like all of, is there a way to see all of the authors of the tickets?
okay. So this, for example, was Mark
Yeah,
Johnson.
we should be able to filter of the 1-year-old by author and see like the list of authors.
I mean, we have assignee. We can also. Report. Does anyone know more about Jira than I do?
You should be able to create a filter that's,
Oh, not in this backup, but in the,
Is it a field on the spreadsheet?
a reporter should be something you could filter on, and then we would say that there are 300, there's 10 reporters. Now, the reporter might not be the person of concern, person who's really.
Maybe it can be added to this dashboard, because in the original, I think in the original dashboard, it's, we can filter.
how do
I
I?
don't know, it's a tiny, but.
I think do I have to be the owner of the dashboard maybe? Should we? I'm so sorry.
I think it's I think that's a thing we should investigate, is how to notify all reporters, check your information, maybe it's been solved, maybe it's no longer relevant, or.
The problem is that I wouldn't even know where to start to notify them, like we could put in a Jira, like you could put in a Slack general, please, everyone who reports a Jira ticket, but that's.
There's a Jira to notify the reporter. Is this still correct? You like add a comment and then send them a message that they need to clarify.
Sure.
You're not asking them, just please reaffirm that this is still your issue.
That's
Right.
true, yeah. Yeah, we could do that, because, for example, hey, Mark Johnson.
Do they comment if someone adds a comment to a Jira that isn't assigned to anybody? Does it notify the reporter?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
If you comment on, if you have, set your profile to be notified of any changes.
Okay, okay.
But then we have to go through the list, of course, and also we have these, this backlog, and we have different kinds of Jira, types. So we have, for example, this is a story, right? Or as Cornelia just said, it is maybe a technical related Jira, which we would probably ignore, because that is something they have to figure out. We can look at the stories, of course, but also then the real issues of bugs. So let's see. We still have this list, and I don't know. Yeah, what are next steps we can take?
Oh, those are dashboards. I thought we had a spreadsheet also.
We do not have a spreadsheet. We have a conference wiki page with a table on it
Okay,
as a gap list
right.
for a working group. The gap list working group, where we look at features and try to enrich them with more information for development. Right, and
So moving forward, do we want to keep using that, or do we want to use?
oh, good question. For now, we established, and we have, I don't know, 3 or 4 workshops we had, and the consensus was that everyone enjoyed that, or at least found it helpful, and so we thought that we would continue, because that is at the moment as a SIG, our only real power right now, I think, to enrich Jira tickets with information and talk about it. Susan, go ahead.
So hi everyone. I think one thing I think is helpful about the gap list versus Jira is it's just much more accessible. Both it's human readable, like everybody can see what the things are. and it's sort of a staging area before things make it to Jira, and then it points back to Jira. So it's more of a tracking list for us in real kind of English to understand what the bigger concept features are that we're looking to get developed. I think what would be really useful for me, because there's so many places where I would love to get things to the next step. Like we've decided this is a bug, this is a thing we want, whatever. But I don't feel like I have the skills to write up a Jira ticket, like from start. Even though I have an account, I technically could. I don't know what the components are, the requirements, what's needed. And I know that Julie Bickle has offered to help me 1,000 times. So I'm curious if that might be something that could build our capacity as a SIG to have more people who have those skills that could then contribute to this. Because I feel like there are several little bottlenecks. Writing Jira tickets, and we know we have a PO bottleneck. Like I know that's giant, but I'm curious if others would find that useful, or if I should just get with Julie and ask her to help me.
No, I think talks here at WOLFcon point in this direction as well. I asked the question at the PO meeting, what can we do to help? And one of the major things is of course testing, but also getting involved into Jira. And everyone is aware that not everyone should just write anything into Jira because that will swamp it with stuff. So we had the PO assistance group at one point where we tried to learn how to assist POs, and that was mainly writing up Jiras, right? How to read the Jira, how to enrich it with things, and what are basically what you just said, Susan, what may be missing. So maybe we can every 3 months or so have a workshop on that. And then everyone can bring their Jira issues where they are not sure about as well, and say, okay, now I learned it, how to do it, and this is my Jira ticket, I did that. I'm still not sure if that is correct, can I show it to you? Is that something we want to do maybe?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I would love to have some kind of introduction in the sense of really, if Julie would be willing to do it, because she's also part of the resource access thing, to really give a short intro into how to best handle it, to have the POs. And then I would feel comfortable to start from scratch at first, because I'm still very new. To have someone I can show my first Jiras to until I myself say, okay, now I feel comfortable enough to just write a Jira from scratch or edit an existing one. And I think I feel comfortable enough to do it. That would be great.
Yeah, so what I take with me from that is maybe we should invite all the POs that are all the resource access POs to a meeting and maybe formulate this request. Like, we want to help you and you have to show us how. And then Julie or whoever wants to do that, I want to alert them so that they can also talk amongst them what they think is the best idea to show us and how we actually can help them. And then we can go into the practical work. And there are several resources I can share. Until then, I can share with you, because there was a WOLFcon session last year on that. Maybe it's recorded somewhere where they have, I think there was a walkthrough as well. So that might be helpful to look at it front. But then I will also, of course, ask Julie if she wants to do that PO assistance thing again and give us a 101 on Jira. I'll just note it down here so that I don't forget it. Jira start. How's the time? Anyone know when the session ends? 20? Okay, then this gives us maybe 1 or 2 minutes to, are there any questions, something you want to say, something you want to share of your WOLFcon experience maybe, up until now? Or do you want to plug a session you want us to attend maybe? Maybe the reminder fee session? Or
Oh, yeah. So actually, I mean, this is not, tomorrow. So I'm going to present. It's just a short wrap up. It's just a short session. I think it's the 11:30 session. There's another one with me about the reshare. So this is just a short wrap up. I mean, because I think resource access was already knows kind of about this.
all right.
But you always welcome. And yeah, but before that, there is a presentation with John, and I'm going to be co-presenter. This is more like project oriented, like how it works when there is a requirement from libraries and how to get this actually through to have it like a working feature at the end, like how this actually works. So this is more about the organization and project management stuff. And right after that, I'm going to show, so the first session will be like, this is how it works, and the end will be what I will do. This is what it's up. So,
That's great.
yeah, you're welcome. Wait, so I didn't hear that's about reshare. That's another colleague from another German library. Oh, we do it right after that. Oh. Well, but, you bring up a great topic that interlibrary services and resource sharing doesn't really have us in the discussion portfolio. And I think it'd be great if it would be added to resource access, but I love the idea of it being kind of a special group, I guess. Because
Reshare was just added to the OLF.
yeah, but reshare is a separate application outside of, and we're on a common platform. We could really be sharing because we're on the same platform.
Yeah.
And there are possibilities there, and there's ways to indicate like what level you're willing to share certain inventory within Folio that could inform how systems develop. So I just would like to put that out there, that that would be a neat part for us to explore in the future. But reshare fills the gap, and it helps libraries on different platforms share. But when you're on the same platform, I'm not really sure you actually need this.
No, I think as German libraries, we are a little bit separate there. I don't know if that I understand it correctly, but so for the functionalities of sharing resources and, for example, ILL functionalities, and in the matter of what fields are maybe missing from the checkout screen to make it work for us, that is something that I would say has a home already in resource access. We have not discussed it as much in the past, in the recent past. So, but if you're looking for more consortial kind of functionality or something, I think we have the consortial SIG.
Imagine your public library and your academic library, and you are one account person, and you're borrowing from your public library and your 3 university affiliated libraries. One user account, multiple libraries.
That sounds really like the consortial SIG, right? Martina, I don't want to put you on the spot, but the consortial SIG is basically discussing this kind of functionality, right?
Yeah.
That is really interesting. That's true.
All of the SIGs are really compatible.
I don't want to say that you're wrong. I just want to say there are some topics that already have a home in Folio community, but new ideas are always, I think, a thing we should discuss as well. So, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, at the end, the item that is brought in for catering will go across the collection desk.
Yeah, true. Mm. All right, any last words? No, then I will take them over and say thank you for this working meeting. I'm happy that we filled the whole hour or 50 minutes or something. And everyone virtually attending, thank you for showing up. Yeah, and have a good afternoon, everyone, or it's morning. Bye.